We have many methods in order to solve the problems in perspective projections, of which the method known as visual ray method is been included in your syllabus of engineering graphics. So, how we are dealing with visual ray method in perspective projection, that is being discussed briefly through this session. Visual rays are the rays of light that comes from the human eye or from the eyes of an observer that will reach over towards the object that he is looking over. So that is why this particular method is being termed as visual ray method. Now we are into the major planes that we are dealing in this type of method. The nomenclature of different types of planes as well as the lines was discussed in the previous video. And now we are discussing how we are about to draw a problem in perspective projection. So we have basically four different planes which are ground plane. Then we have a picture plane, which is a plane that is perpendicular towards the ground plane. Then we have central plane, horizon plane, and in special cases we are having an auxiliary ground plane, which is a plane that is parallel to the ground plane. So all these planes are represented by using capital letters. For example, GP represents ground plane, PP represents picture plane, CP represents central plane, etc. Okay, so I am repeating, visual rays are the rays of light or the imaginary lines that connect the object as well as the observer. So once you are asked the question in perspective projection, the very first step is to ensure that you are taking an A4 paper, you are placing the paper in the vertical direction, okay, or in the portrait mode, okay. The next step is to draw the ground plane. This line is the ground plane, and here it is marked as EGP. Why it is marked as EGP? Ground plane is a plane, but while we are looking in from the front view, that ground plane appears as a line. So as the front view of the ground plane is a straight line, this line is being represented as EGP, and this line is just similar to the XY line that you are using in the case of other types of problems. After drawing the EGP that represents the XY line in the case of other problems, the next step is to draw the picture plane. EGP usually is to be drawn as the central line of the page, okay, just like XY line that we are drawing in the case of other problems. The next step is to draw the picture plane. This is the line picture plane, okay. So picture plane is the plane that is to be drawn below the EGP, and as you know, the picture plane is also a plane, but when you are looking from the top view, then you can see the picture plane as a line. So this line is represented as PPP, which is expanded as plan of the picture plane. Okay, so in the plan of the picture plane, so in PPP line you are drawing the top view of the object that is being given in the question, whereas in the EGP line you are drawing the front view of the object. Okay, just like in the case of orthographic projection, above its Y line you are drawing the front view, okay, below the XY line you are drawing the top view. So in this question you have to draw the top view, okay. So in the question it is specified, it will be clearly specified, like the PPP, the top view of the object is being specified like at such mm or at a specified millimeter above the PPP line, okay, or with that measurement you have to draw the top view on the picture plane, and then by using the orthographic projections you have to draw the by projecting from the top view you have to draw the front view. Here it is denoted by using a single point. O represents the top view and O dash represents the front view of the object. After drawing that, the next step is to draw the central plane. This is the central plane, okay. In the question, the distance of the central plane from the top view of the top view of the axis will be specified. It will be specified either towards left or towards right. So here it is stated that the observer is being standing. This is the plane on which the observer is being looking. Okay. So in this question, here it is told that the observer or the central plane lies around say b mm towards the left of the object. Okay. So from this line you have to take b mm towards the left. Okay. So you are taking b mm towards the left, then you are drawing the perpendicular line. So central plane is a perpendicular line represented as a perpendicular line, and this perpendicular line will be perpendicular to EGP line as well as picture plane line. After marking the central plane, the next step is to mark the station points. Station points are the points that are always located on the central plane, and that represents the points from which the observer looks towards the object. So for marking S dash and S, where S dash represents the elevation of the station point and S represents the plan or the top view of the station point. For marking S dash, in the question it will be stated that the station points are located 25 mm above the ground plane. So here this is the ground plane, and it is stated that it is represented around EMM above the GP line. So you are taking EMM from the GP and you are getting the point in the plane as S dash. Similarly, the top view station point will be stated as the station point is located at a distance of cmm in front of the picture plane. Then you have to take cmm below the picture plane line, and on the central plane we are getting the point S. So just like as you are locating the points in the front view, which is above HP and in front of VP, you are marking the points above GP and in front of PP, and the points will be stated as S dash as well as S. After marking S dash and S on the central plane line, the next step is to join all the points in the front view towards S dash point. For example, O dash is the point that is being given in the front view. So you have to draw the line from S dash so as to meet the point at O dash. While you are drawing this line, ensure that these are invisible lines or construction lines. So ensure that you are drawing it as lighter lines. Okay. So if it is a rectangular prism, then you, instead of a single point, you are getting a rectangle over here. You have to draw the lines towards all the four corners of the rectangle. After doing this, you have to also join from the station point capital S so as to reach all the corners of the plan of the object. Here it is point is stated as O, so you have to join from O so as to meet the point on S. If it is a cube or something like that, then you have to join from all the four corners so as to reach the points on S. Now you can see the exact step-by-step procedure in visual ray methods. So the very first step is to draw the PPP line, which is the plan of the picture plane, and it is represented by using a line. So you have to draw the plan of the picture plane line, and on that you have to draw the top view of the object. So here it will be stated that the object is being resting around 20 mm above the PP. So you have to draw the TV, and then you have to draw the EGP line. EGP line, the distance will not be given in the question, but instead you have to take around 15 mm or 20 mm from the top view of the object. So after completing the top view, if this is the point of the higher, which is the higher altitude of the top view, then from this point you have to take, from this point A you have to take 15 mm above that point. Okay, and then you have to draw a parallel line that is parallel to PP, and that is being stated as EGP. You have to write it as EGP, and here you have to write it as PPP. Okay, and the next step is to draw the front view of the object. So on the EGP you have to draw the front view of the object. So EGP is stated as the XY line of the problem. Okay, so on EGP you have to draw the front view. How you are drawing the front view? You are projecting it from the top view that is drawn on the picture plane. The next step is to draw the central plane of the question. Okay, then you have to draw the central plane, and the central plane is this is the plane of the central plane. Okay, this is the line. So in the question it will be stated that it is around 50 mm towards the left. So from this point A you are taking 50 mm, and then you are drawing a perpendicular line. Okay, a line that is perpendicular to PPP. So this is the central plane, and on the central plane you are marking the points, top view of the station point and then the front view of the station point. Here S dash, and this represents S. So this is the step number 5 and step number 6. And through the point S dash you have to draw a horizontal line, that is a line parallel to EPP, that is parallel to PPP and EGP. Okay, and this line is termed as the horizon plane or the elevation of the horizon plane. After drawing the EHP line, the next step is to draw the visual rays in the top view. That is step number 8. The visual rays in the top view is drawn by connecting the points S and all the corner points of the object in the top view. Here the top view is represented by a single point which is A. So you have to join S so as to reach E, and this is the visual rays in the top view. And then you have the step number 9, which is connecting all the points from S dash towards all the corner points of the object in the front view. Here the point in the front view is only stated as A dash, so you have to join from A dash so as to reach over the S dash. So that is step number 8 as well as step number 9. Then you have step number 10, which is marking the intersection points of the visual ray in the top view with the PPP line. While you are joining S to reach to reach A, you know that line is intersecting at a point on the PPP line, and this is that point. Okay, so you will be getting a point, and you have to mark that intersection point. Then you have to go into step number 11. Step number 11 is you have to project the point that is intersecting over the PPP as a perpendicular line so as to meet over to the visual rays from the S dash, and that point is termed as capital letter A. So this point that you get in the visual rays from the S dash are to be marked by corresponding capital letters. Okay, all these points are to be represented by capital letters. So this point capital A is being termed as the perspective view. Okay, so joining all such points, here you have only one point which is A. When you are considering a square prism, you will be having a square over here, and you will be getting 4 different points, and correspondingly you will be getting 4 different points in the front view also. So from that you will be getting corresponding points in the perspective view. So joining all that points together, then you will arrive at a portion by which you have completed drawing the perspective view of the object.